All right, y'all. I know some of y'all will probably come to this video a little late. That's all right. It's okay. At least we would say, not now. Oh, look at my members. Let me share this to my Facebook. As y'all know, I'm trying to treat my my members a little bit much more. Why is it in pasting? Oh, I thought I had it right, y'all. I thought I had it right. It ain't right. It ain't right, y'all. It ain't right. Hey, everybody. What's going on today? It is a beautiful day. As you know, I was on earlier, but I'm feeling a little productive today. We had covered the Brittany Griner story astrologically and why she's going what she's going through. You know what I mean? I'm just happy. Somebody sent me a video of her being in jail and saying what she said. I didn't get the full breadth of what she said, but all I know is that y'all send that woman some love, cause it's not going to be easy. Now we're coming here. Now, okay, so I want to just give a shout out to everybody who is actually a member of my tribe. If you'll take a look, you'll see people that are in the green. Fortunately, I give them first preference to everything. They get first preference to discounts. They get first preference to doing sessions. They get first preference to answering. They get first preference to quiz answers, cash app prizes, and many, many more. You know, like some of my apparels, my Astro Einstein shirt, the Cosmic Souls, they get those for being a member for a certain amount of time, for being Cosmic Souls. Would you say it sounded scripted, right? Yeah, she had to say the things that she need to say so they can transfer her back. All right. Sorry, y'all. That was a yarn because I be working real hard, real hard. As you know, I have a whole stellium in Virgo. Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, North Node, Dark Monolith, Urania, all in the sign of Virgo. So, even though I'm a Scorpio, I'm more of a Virgo. Does make sense? Even though I'm strong Scorpio, Sun, Mercury, Uranus in Scorpio, I actually have more placements in Virgo and in Sagittarius than I do in Scorpio. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some rulerships in astrology. Now, I know sometimes you hear me make reference to some rulerships, like, different planets, and I always say that, Libra, I don't feel, is ruled by Venus. Is ruled, I would call Venus a secondary ruler of Libra. Juno will be considered the ruler of Libra, partnerships, long-term commitments. As you know, the month June, which the most weddings are held in June, and Juno is the ruler of partnerships, marriage partnerships. This is why I would say that Juno is truly the ruler of Libra. Okay? All right. And Chiron, or Chiron, most people like to call it, is the ruler of Virgo. And Chiron is what I would consider the wounded healer. Okay? If y'all didn't know who Chiron was. He was a centaur. That means a half man, half horse. In Greek mythology, he was a healer, but he was shot mistakenly by Hercules' arrow, a bow and arrow, bow an arrow, and that wound never healed. But he took his time to actually heal people. So he dedicated himself to service and work and helping to heal people. And upon his death, which was he succumbed from his own wounds, he was exalted as a whole constellation in the sky. All right? One y'all would know as Sagittarius. He was so, as you know, Chiron is a very, very important planet. So is Juno. All right? So as a modern day astrologer, I equate Chiron being the ruler of Virgo, despite what those traditional and traditional astrologers like to say. I go by my experience. My experience is Chiron fits better. Right? So rulerships, like we talked about the last time, is an important area in astrology. Sometimes you guys see me, you be like, you see me do a chart, and you be like, how the hell does he know? All right? How the hell does he know? How can he be so accurate? How is this possible? And I will tell you, keywords is the name of the game and rulerships. You have to know rulerships in order to know astrology. It is important. Key importance. Okay? So I'm going to show you a little bit of what I mean by rulership. So, before I put up the charts, so you can take a look at that, we want to get into some things. Okay, so let's just say that somebody is an Aquarius, like how Adrian said that, Sun in Aquarius, right? Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. And Uranus is a planet that if you look at it, it looks awkward. It literally has a ring that goes like this. Saturn is a planet and it has rings that goes like this. Uranus goes against the grain. Its orbit is like this. So the rings around it are elliptical, right? So it basically looks like a very eccentric planet. It gives a lot of understanding of why Aquarius always feel like the alien, or they always feel different, because they are different. They have the planet Uranus, which is actually the eccentric planet. So that's what we look at. The planet rules a sign. And the characteristics of that planet is what really is the baseline of the sign. So when is your book coming out? 2023, I promise you, 2023. I will have a lot of free time in 2023, and I'll have a lot of help 2023. I have a lot of help now. It's in the process, but it's going to be even much more bigger. So, with the planets ruling certain signs and the planets ruling certain houses, like we gave you the idea of landlords and tenants, I would say, how should I put this? The kind of planet, or the kind of, I'm searching for words right here, the kind of, I should say, state that the planet is in, that is ruling a certain house or a certain sign, would tell you how well that area will go for you. Okay? All right, so let's just say you have on your second house, because everybody concerned is about money. Everybody concerned is about money. We worry about how much we're going to get, when we're going to get it, how much of it we're going to have. And the second house rules money. So does your Venus. So your money isn't just dependent on the ruler of the second house or the ruler of that sign that's on the second house. It's also dependent on the way your Venus is placed. Because Venus rules the things you enjoy, money, assets. Because Venus is really the ruler of the second house naturally. So we're going to look at natural rulers of the houses as countries. Okay? So even though you may be a tenant, you may be a landlord of a particular place and you live a certain place, the country you live in is the basis of where you can build. And it's the same way with the, I would say, overall ruler of the house. So Venus naturally rules the second house. And then the planet that rules that sign is also the ruler. So that's the first ruler. The secondary ruler is the natural ruler of the sign. The secondary ruler of the second house is Venus. And then you look to see what sign is on your second house. So some of y'all, pull up your charts, take a look at your second house. Make sure your chart is in whole sign house system and not Placidus. All right. Ray Gerard said her second house is Sagittarius in Sagittarius on the second house. So your two rulers of money, or how you would receive your money, would be Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. So in order to see how money could come to you, you must look to see what sign your Jupiter's in, what house your Jupiter's in. And once you do that, you're able to dictate exactly how you will make that money. So look at your Jupiter and then look at your Venus as a secondary planet ruler of your second house. Because if your Venus, the planet that rules fun, assets, and money naturally, isn't in a good place, isn't in a good sign or a good house that it likes, doesn't have good aspects, or I wouldn't say good, I should say soft aspects to certain planets, then it may be difficult for you to acquire money. All right? Gina Renee said hers is Pisces. So that means that in your chart, Neptune is the ruler of your second house alongside Venus. So taking a look to see where your Neptune is, the sign it's in, and the house it's in, will tell you how you can make money. Auburn, you are a Leo rising just like me. You have Virgo on your second house. What you have to look for is where Chiron is, or Chiron. Take a look at the house it's in, the sign it's in, and it will dictate to you, alongside Venus, how you can make money. So Crown, Leo is over my second house. Did I say that right? Okay, yeah, you did say that right. But make sure that you take a look to see if your chart is in the whole sign house system. Sometimes Placidus can fool you. Vision Life said Jupiter in the first house. I don't understand that. Oh, you're saying that Jupiter is the ruler of your second house, but it's in the first house. Okay. And your Jupiter, Ray, is inside in the second house. So the ruler of your second house is sitting in your second house, right? And that means that, especially in the sign of Sagittarius, that you need to use either importing and exporting, writing, that's, publishing, because Sagittarius rules publishing, foreign places and foreign countries, higher education, travel, um, spirituality. Basically, I would say that, it'd be best for you to make your way financially in a different country. Astro Gucci asked me the question that, what about second house Libra? Well, you have to take a look at what sign, what planet rules Libra. Juno rules Libra. You have to take a look at where your Juno is, the sign it's in, the house it's in, and take a look at your Venus, and it'll give you an understanding. How can you say you don't have a chart? How can you say you don't have a chart and you are in, well, if you were a cosmic soul, you would have gotten your natal report. It's easy to make your chart. That's simple. Astro.com. ASTRO.com. Extended charts. Put in your own information. Nobody has to give you a chart. Once you know your time of birth, your date of birth, your place of birth, and your name, you'll be able to make your own chart. All right. Jerry Muhammad said Jupiter is in Taurus in the first house. But, Jerry, Jupiter is not the ruler of your second house. So why would you state Jupiter is in Taurus in the first house? This is about, second house, money, assets. You take a look to see what sign is on your second house. We're talking about second house placements and the planet that rules the sign that's on your second house. Yes. And like Keisha said, don't forget to hit the like button. It's 45 of y'all. I'm sure that some of you could just pop in, pop out, and hit that like button. What Dula Brucia said, my second house is in Cancer. No, but you can't. We're not looking for you. Okay, so I'm getting a headache. We're not worrying about Jupiter if Jupiter is not the ruler of your second house. Please stop telling me where Jupiter is if Sagittarius is not in your second house. All right. Jupiter in ninth house. It's always easy for me to get teaching gigs in higher education without a PhD. Now, I believe that. I believe that solely. Y'all are very, very lucky to be able, because I couldn't get my YouTube to just put it on members only. Some of y'all could become members. I'm sure. You take a look at your second house. If you have your second house ruler, we're talking about second house rulers. Let me scroll all the way down. All right, because some of y'all are giving me a headache, okay? All right. Please stop telling me where Jupiter is. Jane said, my second house ruler is in my 12th in Capricorn. Right. So for somebody like yourself, Agina, what is best for you to make money? Also, I think your Venus is in Taurus, correct? Let's make sure that I'm correct with that. I remember doing your chart. I remember Venus being in Taurus. Take a look to see what house your Taurus is in. And if you are an Aquarius rising, that means that Taurus is on your fourth house. I think I'm definitely right about that. And Venus and Taurus can make you money in the fourth house with food, actually. Food or anything dealing with in the fourth house, which could be real estate. And with your ruler of your second house, and let me reiterate, y'all, the second house in your chart, let me pull up a chart so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right. So, let me give you all an example. And we're going to use Brittany Griner's chart as an example. Okay? So, let's take a look at Brittany Griner's chart. Now, as you can see, Brittany Griner has second house Sagittarius on it. Second house Sagittarius on it. Not all of you will have second house Sagittarius, okay? Dula Bruja, yeah, yes. Inheritance are good. Cancer there. So with Brittany Griner, Sagittarius also, if you really, really think about it, rules any kind of sports dealing with feet, because the centaur also rules Sagittarius. Now, most people who have Scorpio risings can be a little competitive when it comes to making money. So this right here has her Jupiter in Leo in the 10th house. Okay? Jupiter in the 10th house of Leo. When you look at this, this tells me how she can make money. Being the center of attention, being very, very dramatic, being a person that's, using her talents and skills to make her money. Okay? Because of Jupiter being in Leo. Okay? This tells me that she can make money. So we look for the ruler of this sign on the second house and Venus. And our Venus is in Libra. So she could also have a partner to bring her money as well, because Libra rules the marriage partner. Okay? Let's take a look at somebody else. And this person's second house has Aquarius on it. Aquarius is ruled by this planet Uranus. With this chart, this person can use both Venus, which is in Libra, and damn, this chart looks almost similar. Wow, she got a, did y'all see this? She's actually born on the same day as Brittany Griner. And look what her name is. Her name is Brittany Rivera. Ain't that some shit? Now that is some sugar honey iced tea. This woman got the same placements as Brittany, born on the same day as Brittany, and her name is Brittany. You couldn't make this shit up. You could not make this shit up. Ain't that something? But different destinies. So anyway, this person is a Capricorn rising. Their second house has Aquarius on it. Now to look to see what kind of money this person can make, you take a look at their Venus, which is in Libra, and their Uranus. So this person can make money through presenting themselves as their own business. The first house represents the physical body, and Capricorn represents business. But the thing is, though, as you can see, Neptune is closely connected to this, to the ruler of the second house. And Neptune is a planet that rules spirituality, self-undoing, drugs, escapism, hypnotherapy. It rules, smoke and mirrors. And with that being said, because this is closely connected to this, what I would say a conjunction, this makes this another option for them to make money. So the more planets that are conjunct the ruler of the second house, the more options that person have to making money. The more aspects it has, the more chances it is to make money. Now, what you will learn also is the ruler of this second house is sitting in the first house. And the first house rules like your vitality, your physical body, the way you present yourself. That means that this person, first impression, their physical body, the way they can intuit and use their psychic ability are ways that this person can make money. Now remember, you cannot take away the fact that Uranus and Aquarius is about using non-conventional methods, non-traditional and non-conventional methods of making money. So this person can do things like using spirituality or using their intuition or their psychic ability, in very different ways. Now what this person will understand also is they can actually make money through the internet, through social media, or through humanitarian efforts. Because Aquarius rules all of those things. So that makes this person the ability to make money using all of these and these. Also, as you can see, Venus, which actually rules money, is in Libra. And Libra is a sign that rules partnership, but also beauty and fashion. Somebody like myself would say that this person, Brittany Rivera, can make money through using their hands, which is represented by Mercury, creating beautiful things for fashion, and using this business in a very unorthodox way, and using their intuition to create money. All right, as you can see, that's that. And you're right, Adrian, there's no coincidence. Oh, thank you, Magically Divine. I truly appreciate you. Thank you. Jasmine said, first house is Leo, and that means your second house is Virgo. Can't find my birth time. My birth certificate says 12:11 a.m. But my mom and grandpa say I was born in the afternoon during the daytime. Well, CJ, if I was you, I would book a rectification of time with me and book a natal chart reading, and we'll get about to seeing how we can see if that's your exact time of birth. And you are right, Vision Life. That's correct. Maybe it's a typo. Maybe it's supposed to be PM. Melanated Miracle asks the question, how do I learn to read minds like this? Well, I have a whole school. The beginner's astrology course is only $220. Intermediate, $330. An expert, which will be taking off at the ending of this year, will be $440. All right, so as you can see, this is an example of second house. Let's go up some more. I just found that very, very amazing. All right, so we're going to take a look at this chart, which is Priel Collins. Look at that. Look at our beloved Priel's chart. No, y'all too nosy. All right, Bridget Jones has a chart similar to Mike's. And then we have Bridget Barlow as a secondary chart. I want to use a chart where we can take a look at many different planets so you could see how to maneuver in your chart. Let's take a look through my hundreds of thousands of charts. And some of y'all be like, stop the mics, stop the mics. And I will answer you, no. All right, let's take a look at this Virgo rising. Right? This Virgo rising. And this Virgo rising has second house Libra. Now, the second house tells you about your money, your assets, how you can make money. Also, the ruler of that house is Juno. And this person's Juno is in Aries in the 8th house. And what you're thinking, you're like, so what about Aries and what about the 8th house? But that isn't the only area. As you can see, this person also has 2 planets in this house. Now, Libra is the sign that rules beauty and fashion, partnerships, anything to do with creativity. So this person can use their own creativity, their deep introspective and creativity. And this creativity could also, believe it or not, because it's in the 8th house, has to do with mediumship, death, sex, regeneration, information about esoteric knowledge. How I know this is because Pluto is there. Now this person, well, their imprisonment isn't conjunct anything. Let's take this out of here so we don't have to look at that anymore. Sorry, it's midpoints. Part, clear all. Okay, there you go. So this person has Pluto in the 2nd house. So this person can make money through, believe it or not, if they wanted to. The lower octave of Pluto is criminality. Then the other octave of it is, psychology, transformation. And, Pluto also rules sex. And Saturn also it represents business, structure. So this person can make money through means of having a business of beauty and fashion. Believe it or not, because of these placements. You take a look at their Venus, which is also an indicator. And their Venus is in the 12th house in Leo. This would mean that they have some hidden talents that they would actually be able to harness as they get older that will also make them money. They have more options based upon these planets being in the 2nd house. Let me look. I see you typing. Hold on. What do you say, Angela Alchemist? If I've done your chart before, maybe I have your chart. And you said Chiron and Gemini in your 2nd house. So that means, Angelic Alchemist, you're, well, anyway. Yeah. No disrespect, but, you got to put your name in the green, sugar. You got to become a member. What do you say? Don't we have to look at the progressive chart to see where exactly where the second house at ET, the planet ruler? Not entirely so. A progress chart is like building a house on top of a foundation. You know, you already have a house. The natal chart is the house, the foundation. And the progress chart is like when you get married, you have 3 kids, you have 5 kids, now your house is getting smaller. I mean, too small for your family. You're outgrowing. So what you do is you build a two-story, a second story, and you adjust to it. But the foundation is still the same. It doesn't change. It just makes an addition. All right, I hope I explained it to you uh, with sense. So the progress chart can tell you how you can, in a sense, make money that's temporary, because it's still shifting. Remember, the progress chart is a chart that is continuously moving. All right. Now, and no problem, Nation Business. Thank you for that questions. A lot of people don't know that. So this person can make money through these planets here: Pluto, Saturn, Juno, and Venus. This is more options. All right. So look, Lakeisha Thomas, and thank you, Adrian. I truly appreciate you for saying that. Did the progress chart change North Node? My progress didn't change. Well, your progress chart is always changing. Sugar. North Node, it changes. So what happens is this natal chart tells you about your direction that you came to plot out in this lifetime, what you came to do. The progress chart tells you how your North Node shifted. So let's give an example. This person was born in 1983. Let's take a look at their progress chart. And their progress chart will change from the North Node being in the 10th house to it being in the 8th house. As you see, it's in the 10th house here, but now it shifted to the 8th house. This person's sun sign when they were born was Cancer in the 11th house, and they progressed to Sun and Leo in the 10th. All right? So your purpose does make a shift, a change in the area that you pursue your purpose. All right? It makes a shift in the house, especially if your ascendant changes. So this is how you get to tell if you're, this is how we use predictive astrology. I use the progress chart, some people for the year solar return, or, me personally, I use this, and I use the Uranian chart, which is much more difficult for others to read or be able to decipher. All right, so y'all got any questions for me? Ask your questions while I'm here. Especially, and don't be upset, y'all, whose name is not in the green. I put full, I would say, I take the ones in the green, that my members, first and foremost. All right, because they point to me, so I will in turn point to them. Any questions that you have while you have me on this live, I will be open and willing to answer. I know some of y'all already typing right now. So rulership, like we talked about the second house or any house, can make sense. So this person, as you can see, the ruler of their second house, Sagittarius, is ruled by Jupiter, and that Jupiter is in the second house. All right? And that makes the Jupiter to be dignified in its sign. It means it's the king. It's his king in his own castle. So this person may have an easier way of making money more than most people. Money may flow to them easily than others. This is why Some people have it more harder than others. Some people you look at be like, damn, why is their life so hard? And you look at their chart and it reflects. Some people, you know, if their 10th house rules, they're out there standing in life, meaning if they're going to be famous or not, if they're going to be well known, is connected to the 10th house. And if the ruler of your 10th house is sitting in a house like the 6th house, the 4th house, then this person will be known, like the 4th house will be known for sitting in the home or doing things from the home, being a home taker, home caretaker. If the ruler of the tenth house is sitting in the 6th house, they may be known in their circle for something dealing with whatever sign is here and whatever the 6th house is responsible for. All right? Are y'all still with me? Because everybody seems to be pretty quiet. I don't see no typing. Is this paused? Is it paused? No? Well, y'all taking notes. Okay. Thank you, Jerry. All right. So, Ariel Gucci, you asked a question. I have Juno in the 3rd house and Scorpio, with Libra in the 2nd house. You have Juno in the 3rd house, with Libra in the 2nd. So even though you didn't tell me what sign that your Juno is in, I know that your Juno is in the sign of Scorpio. If you have Libra on your 2nd. Now some of y'all be using Placidus system. I'm using whole sign house system. So you got to tell me, I ain't sure if you're using whole sign house system. You got to tell me what's your ascendant so I can make my own calculations. Dedication 26 still crashing my brain. It can be that way. It can be that way. All right? So you have to watch the other videos in order to get that. All right? So these houses right here, 1 to 12, they are responsible for different areas of your life. The 1st house tells you about your physical body, about your first impression on people, the first thing people see. The 2nd house tells you about your sense of self-worth, your money, your assets, your income, your residual, your income any kind of way, and also the kind of food you like to eat. The 3rd house tells you about your siblings, your early childhood education, the way you communicate, the kind of car you like to drive, meaning your short distance travel. Yeah, that thing. The 4th house tells you about your home, your lineage, real estate, and also the ending part of your life. The 5th house tells you about children. It tells you about your short-term romantic relationships, all of your talents and gifts, and also speculation and gambling, taking risks. The 6th house is the house of health, work, and service. To some esoteric teachers, they also put this as the house of pets, which can tell you the kind of pet you'll have or the kind of relationship you'll have with your pet. The 7th house rules partnerships, marriages, long-term commitments, and also lawsuits and open enemies. The 8th house rules sex, death, regeneration, taxes, other people's money, your partner's money, esoteric knowledge, hidden things, criminality, that nature. Are y'all following me? right. The 10th, 8th, the ninth house rules foreign places, foreign cultures, foreign countries, higher education. It rules philosophy, your spirituality. Believe it or not, it also rules prophetic dreams. This also rules your in laws. So some of y'all who married or had a marriage partner and couldn't stand your in laws, maybe the placements in your ninth house or the ruler of your ninth house was not favorable. Okay? This also rules publishing. The 10th house rules your integrity, your career, your standing in society. It rules business, the government, and how you see your government. The ninth and 11th house rules your associates, your friends, social media. It rules your hopes and wishes. It also rules aviation, believe it or not, and any kind of humanitarian effort that you may have. It rules inventions of that nature. The 12th house rules the house of spirituality. It rules hospitals, prisons, asylums. It rules the subconscious and the superconscious, actually. The superconscious mind, that means source or God, whatever you want to call it. It also rules hidden enemies. And sometimes that hidden enemy could be your own self, your self undoing. So those are the houses. Now, there are other things that we did not mention that are in your life that are also connected to these placements. Okay? Now, finding out the sign that's on those houses will tell you how those houses will be run, or how those things in your life will be run. Okay? It will tell you how your life, some areas will be run. All right, so for example, let's take a look at another person who, other than who I've already seen, chart can I use? All right, let's take a look at. I haven't heard from Ebony in a little while. So take a look at Ebony's chart. Ebony is a. What you say, Jerry Muhammad? Okay. All right. All right. You said you. Teresa Bias. All right, Jerry, I'm going to take a look at your chart since you were the first to say that. Damn, it's so much. All right. Yeah, we got your whole name on here. That's a draconic. This is your chart. So let's take a look at children. Because some of you guys would be like, you know what? Some people don't have kids, and some of y'all kids act like y'all parents, and some of y'all kids act like that, they they your little enemies. Right. So what you gonna do? Sorry, I was trying to share that. What you're gonna do is take a look at your fifth house. And this tells you about your children. Now, I know you say to yourself, well, wait the hell a minute. There is nothing in here. There's nothing in here at all. And you say to yourself, what the hell is going on? Well, you got to take a look at your chart. The sign that's on your fifth house is Virgo. And Virgo is ruled by Chiron. Your Chiron is in the sign of Aries in the 12th house. Now, the fifth house rules the overall general, your children. But the fifth house rules your first child. The seventh house rules your second child. The ninth house rules your third child. The 11th house rules your fourth child. The first house rules your fifth child. Third house, your sixth, and so on and so on. This tells me, based upon your chart, that your first child, your Chiron, the ruler of it, is sitting in Aries. Your first child may have Aries tendencies, may have an Aries energy. And because it is sitting in the 12th house of self-undoing, this child can be an old soul. Not only that, because the ruler of your sixth house, your fifth house of children, is conjunct your south node, this means that he is definitely from a past life. Now, the 12th house rules prisons, hospitals, and asylums. With the ruler of your fifth house, with your child, your first child, this is telling me that he can either work or reside in one of these areas. Either which way, there's some self-undoing that needs to be worked out from a previous lifetime between you and this child. All right? With you and this child. Yeah, so he's an Aries rising. That means that he has that fiery nature. And because the ruler of your 11th house, your sixth house, fifth house, is in the 12th house of hidden enemies, this means that for some apparent reason, your child, first child, may have been a hidden enemy of yours from a previous lifetime. And you may not know. The 7th house rules the second child. And you would have Scorpio on your for your second child. This would make this child more scorpionic than in nature. This child may be a little different, eccentric, unique. But because this child is like that, because Juno is sitting in your 7th house, this tells me that your second child may have the possibility of being married. Because of that. You said your second child is a Scorpio rising and moon. Well, that's because naturally, the 7th house rules the second child. So it's Scorpio in nature. But this person is also very much different, eccentric, unique. Right. So you take a look at that. You take a look at the ruler that's on Scorpio and it's sitting in Pluto. We say we school for free. You love us, Astro. Oh, that's temporarily, sugar. I mean, I love y'all, but I love my peoples inside the green because they love me back monetarily, you know. And not just like saying it's all about money, but I believe in the law of reciprocity. I believe that when you pour into me, I pour back into you. You know, law of reciprocity is the reason why most black people don't make it in this world. Is because we believe that we should receive everything free. And there should be no sort of, we always looking for deals, looking for, how about if I cut you, cut me half or so and so. It's the reason why we're not as a community thriving more because we don't really like paying money for anything that doesn't make us look good, But I truly appreciate the fact that you said that. Now, this second child, Jerry, has Libra on it. I mean, it has Pluto, the ruler of it, in Libra in the 6th house. So this child may be, dealing with karma from relationships in previous lifetimes. How? Because Vertex is also conjunct there, and Vertex is fated moments. And you say he is a Libra sun. Exactly. All right then. All right. Okay. You see, all of this is correlation to everything that I'm saying about. Right. So that is how you can read, and I could basically tell you about your sisters and your brothers and your uncles once you have the ability to break down this chart like that. It's for me, it's simple, but for y'all, you have to learn astrology in that way in order to to do this, which try my best to educate and provide a platform for people to learn astrology the way that I learned. All right? Okay. So let's take a look at the career aspect of it. Okay? So your MC right here, which represents the career, and so there's the 10th house. As you can see, you have your Sun, Mercury, and Mars in the 10th house. And you have it, Uranus, the ruler of your 10th house, is in the 7th house. And the 7th house rules partnerships, marriage, rules, open enemies, but it's in the sign of Scorpio that deals with deep psychological wounds. Right? Bringing the balance. And when this happens, this means that, you can use all of these modalities for your career. Education, because Mercury rules early childhood education. You could use that as managerial position because the Sun rules managing. And Mars, which rules conflict, aggression, war in that way. Adriana, I want to thank you for that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Truly appreciate that. And thank you, Natal Chart Navigator. I truly appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. All right. Oh, Rio Gucci, you became a member too. Oh, that's freaking awesome. That's great. All right. So now I'm going to teach you a little bit about, my topic, which people like to tell me, like to blame me for anyway. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Oh, should I move away from? Let me move away from Jerry. Jerry, I don't mean to do that. Let me go into somebody else's chart. Okay. All right. Ooh. We're going to go into Jasmine Johnson's chart. And and we're going to take a look at this chart. Hey, Lynn, don't be judging me. All right. And to know somebody's preference, especially when it comes to meeting a partner, is important. A lot of us waste a lot of time getting to know somebody, talking about we gonna date them. Some of y'all females hold on for 3 months just to use your vagina as a prize for the male. And then some males are just very predatory, want to experience the sexual energy. Now, with this chart, you're able to look at a potential partner and you can tell their sexual preference. You can tell, which is very important. Sexual chemistry is important in your relationship. I don't see how we could sidebar the conversation when all we do as human beings is fucking make babies. So anyway, this person, you look for the person's 8th house and their 5th house. It will tell you about the kind of relationship they would normally be in sexually. Now, take in mind the 5th house rules kids, children, taking risk, and romantic relationships, which all coincides. Once you take a risk with a romantic relationship, you're going to end up with a baby. So it all boils down to the same thing. You take a look at the 8th house. Now, the 8th house kind of sex is about deep, intrinsic, becoming one, a fusion of two souls, immersed and enmeshed to become one. All right? And this person right here has 5th house Aquarius. And Aquarius is non-traditional. Most Libra risings will have Aquarius on their fifth house. That doesn't mean that, every Libra will have a non-traditional sort of short-term relationships. But when you look at this chart, they have Juno in Aquarius, conjunct their IC, conjunct their Saturn. That's normally an indication of somebody who would date people who are much more older than themselves. Fun-wise, want things that are very non-traditional, and somebody who is wise or educated and mature. Sex-wise, the sun being in the 8th house, this person will need somebody or will be somebody who has a very strong sex drive, very sensual. All right? When it comes to that, your 8th house, now the kind of man that a woman is drawn to, if she's into a man, will be known and seen from her Mars and, believe it or not, her Saturn. And because Saturn rules the father figure, most women naturally and instinctively are drawn to men that are just like their father without them even knowing. So, sorry, Mars, Sun, and Saturn. All right, those combination will tell you the kind of man that she'll be drawn to. This person here, also known as Jasmine, is drawn to men who are much more mature because of this Mars in the 10th house. And because it's in the Cancer, she's drawn to men who are very sentimental, loving. All right? And because it's conjunct Chiron, she's drawn to men who are natural born healers. Men who are sentimental, loving, mature, and who are natural healers, who are family oriented. And based upon this is connected to past lives. People who are in connection, in relationship from previous lifetimes. So this person is drawn to people of that nature because Mars is in Cancer. And Cancer is the sign that's not, Mars is not comfortable in Cancer, by the way. It's not. But in the sign of Cancer, this person normally is drawn to the mama's boys, the ones who's nurturing, the one who's different and eccentric and unique, and the one who is deep and mystical. Looking at the 3 of these planets is how you can tell the kind of man that a woman is naturally drawn to. All right? All right? So that's this particular person. That's that area. Let's go into the kind of friends you're drawn to. And let's go to somebody's chart. Let me scroll up. Look how much jasmines I got in my chart. Damn. Sorry, y'all. There's just a lot of people in my chart. I mean, I have a lot of charts. Okay. Take a look at this chart here. So let's look at friends and associates, which is connected to the 11th house. And the 11th house is the house that rules friends and associates. You can tell that this person is all about friendships. They can go all out for their friends. All right? They can go all out for their friends. They may have younger friends as well, but these are the people who hold on to friends long, because Taurus is the sign that rules longevity and a sense of self-worth. These are the people who like to feed their friends. who like to go out to dinner, to eat. So when you look at people like this, you'll look at their social media, and they will always have placements on social media showing them eating food or acquiring assets. And that's because Taurus is on their second house, and Taurus rules these things. Would you say, oh, I scrolled right past yours? No, I'm sorry. Let me go back to yours. You know, I had to make sure I see it first. And it's Jasmine. So much that. Okay, I see you, Jazz. I see you, Jay. So this is your chart, right? Hmm. What question you got for me, Miss Mensa? Miss Mensa? Because I know you got a question for me. I'm gonna give you that opportunity to be able to ask your question. Hey, Karen D, how you doing? Well, you just said it, and you know I'm here now. So, hey, gotcha. This is a lot you got going on here. But you say, where should I make my money? Well, looking at your chart, you know the ruler of your second house is Chiron. You have Chiron sitting in the 12th house of Cancer in the 12th house. That gives it a double loop because Cancer is ruled by the moon, and your moon is in your second house in the sign of Virgo. To be honest with you, you can make your money through healing, through service, through healing, anything dealing with your intuition. And because Cancer rules heritage, lineage, ancestry, you can actually make money using spirituality. You can also make money dealing with nurturing and helping people. Your dark moon is in the second house, moon and south node. You came in this lifetime with the gift of healing, all right? And you could use that same modality in this lifetime. It all boils down to either working in a hospital, working in the medical field, working in the service industry, either which way. Being as nurturing and as mothering as possible can be the way that you can make money. You also, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that doesn't show my, I know my moderator's probably sleeping now. All right. Now, you also have Venus in Libra, which could also, you say you start as a mental health specialist in September. Right, that's really good. You know, the 12th house rules asylums and prisons and anything dealing with the superconscious mind. So if you are rolling and going into that as a mental health specialist in September, you are definitely on the right path. The natal chart navigator. I have North Node in Cancer 12th house. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to tap into it. All right, so 12th house, natal chart navigator. Are you a Leo rising? If you're a Leo rising, and I saw you became a member, send me your information and your name, your true name, and we should go there. All right, if you don't mind me navigating through your chart so I could see exactly who's in front of me. Would you say Dusty Henderson? I don't have any in my first, third, and 11th house. What does that mean? You have to take a look at your the rulers of those houses to see. All right. Yes, of course, Jay Mensa. You know, you are on your path. You already knew that. After we did our little session, it was pretty good. All right. Kenyatta Daniels. All right. Thank you, Kenyatta. And you were born the 23rd of September, 1982. And you were born uh, 4:05 a.m. and you were born Barthol, Florida. I guess that's North Florida. All right. So you are a Leo rising. All right. As a Leo rising, your second house, your North Node is in Cancer. What you want to do is take a look at the ruler. Well, first and foremost, is in the ninth degree. You have to use numerology as well. It's 38 minutes, 9 degrees. Important. You also have Cassandra conjunct your North Node. That's another topic on its own. Want to know what Cassandra's about? Wasted breath, advice, consent, roles, offering advice or prophecies, questions about whether to believe what others say, whether to follow advice, offering counseling. As you can see, your name says the natal chart navigator. And to be quite honest with you, with that being said, it's showing that that is one of the areas you're to do, because Cassandra is conjuncted. And that's normally the counselor, the one that gives advice. Okay? And then your moon is in the 9th degree as well. But it's in Sagittarius in the 5th house. Now that's a indication, because Sagittarius moon is the teacher. You are a natural educator. Most people who have moon in Sagittarius are anxious, are naturally excited when they are able to teach and express. And because your moon is the ruler of this in the 5th house, your purpose in this lifetime is to educate in a fun and very amazing way. You also have the fixed star Antares conjunct your moon almost exactly. All right? Which means that you're sort of fated to do this sort of thing. According to your chart, you do very well in educating about things that are very much higher education, philosophy, religion, spirituality. It is fun for you. Your purpose in this lifetime is to do that, is to educate not just yourself, but also your partners, your romantic relationships, and your children. As a matter of fact, one of your purpose in this lifetime is to teach children very spiritual things that will help them during their lineage. You are here to create and help to give advice to people so they could get rid of past life traumas and karma. Okay? Thank you, Anna. Truly appreciate that. The black must fizzle. Well, you can book a session. I charge $85 for rectification of a time of birth. All right? That's what I do. Now, as you know, thank you very much for sharing that too as well. As you can see, you have Sun and Venus in Virgo in the 2nd house. You too are here for service and to help to heal people. For your Chiron is in the 10th house in Taurus. Basically, you're here to heal and supposed to be doing a good job at it too. All right, y'all. Adrian, does Taurus in the 12th house mean you like to snack in secret? You could use those words. They sound, Adrian, because you've been so formidable and so nice and so, accommodating and so, talking on this live. I will uh, do your chart. Just send me information, type it, and let me do it real quick. All right, so I can end the night. Type your name, your date of birth, your place of birth, and, and time of birth. All right, I'm waiting on you. Once you type it, we go for there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the comments. Well, were you afraid to share your information? You don't want anybody to know how old you are. Nobody could do anything with your chart. Could you imagine Beyonce and Jay Z and Kanye West telling people, delete my chart? You don't know. Uh, you can manipulate me. No. All right, this will be the last one for the day. You guys will have to catch me up another day. Adrian, pardon. Your date of birth is the 15th of February, 1973. Born 8:39 a.m. New York, New York, New York. Let's take a look and see what we got. So the question is, what system is the most accurate that I've experienced? I would say whole sign house system uh, and Vedic astrology. You know, I'm not a Vedic astrologer. I have knowledge of Vedic astrology. I could teach it if I want to, um, but I rather whole sign house system and the tropical system. Placidus to me has not been as accurate for me as this. So anyway, with looking at this chart, you know, you want to know how it is you can make money. So your Venus is the ruler of your second house, and your Venus is in Aquarius in the 11th house. All right, and with your Venus in Aquarius in the 11th house, you can make money through your own inventions. You can make money through your hey y'all. uh, some of y'all, I know y'all can afford the mature soul and what have you, but yeah. Anyway, that's another topic on its own. Appreciate you. So you have one too? Well, you could also make money through aviation. You could also make money through the internet, social media, creating your own website, your inventions, anything dealing with marketing from a internet perspective or using the internet in any kind of way are ways that you can make money. You could also create a non-profit organization, be the face of it. Would you say Ario Gucci? No, I didn't. I didn't skip you. I chose the last one. When I come on again, you will have an opportunity. Patience, my grasshopper. I can't get to everybody. All right. Now, this is showing that you can actually, you know, on having your own website or your own app, creating your own app or anything that's directly connected to you can make you some money. Oh, Dusty Henderson. You can book a session with me through astroeinstein.as.me. astroeinstein.as.me. No, the rectification price is still $85. The session itself is $200 for people who are cosmic souls, meaning as you are the highest tier of my membership, you get a 50% off of my readings. All right? That means that if you are a cosmic soul, that $200 price goes down to $100. That's right. It goes down to $100, not for mature soul or an old soul or an astro soul, only cosmic souls. You upgrade your membership and you will get half off of your reading, $100. And what I throw in there is your natal report. I throw in your progress chart report. I throw you a year forecast for you. I also may throw in, if I'm feeling happy that day, a synergy between you and a loved one. That's right, all for my cosmic souls only. So, what you gonna do? You gonna raise up that membership to cosmic souls? Because you could be saving yourself a whole lot of money because it's only limited. I will only be taking on for 2 weeks, so the spots are limited because I have a training that I'll be teaching people how to do quantum healing sessions for a month. There was a question, can you do a video or question answer on miscarriages? I did that like maybe on my YouTube at least 2 years ago about miscarriages and what have you. Maybe one day I'll talk about it again, for sure. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for being here with me. Let me put this camera off so y'all can look at me. That's right, me. All right, I want to thank you all for being here on my live, on my streaming. Oh, you say, what did you say about teaching people quantum healing? Oh, yes, so in October 4th, from October 4th to November 4th, I'll be having a training to teach people to do quantum healing. It's a training course, a 1 month training. I'll be teaching you astrology, how to read a chart, numerology, palmistry, the Michael's teachings, about aliens, that means, angels and demons, and hypnotherapy. It's for $5,000. That includes your housing, your food for a month, the training materials, the training, and any kind of field trips that we'll be taking. If you are interested, you can email astroeinstein1979@gmail.com. That's astroeinstein1979@gmail.com. Don't pass up this opportunity. This may be something for you to help with the collective. And believe it or not, if you are on my live, that means that you're here to receive something. All right? So if you guys are interested in that, my assistants, my team will be more than glad to respond. But my peoples who go in and training, they coming out of that training some spiritual gangsters. You hear me? Spiritual gangsters. Just ask the last batch of people who did it. All right, y'all. It's 10 o'clock. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night. It's been an hour and a half, as I always do. All right? Y'all enjoy the rest of your night. And good night.